Today I'm here to talk to you about Ariana Grande. We're going to start off talking about her recent step away from the spotlight, and then we're going to dive into her latest music video, because that music video is giving us hints about dirty Hollywood that we've been diving deep into right here on the channel. Thank you for subscribing. Now let's dive in.
And we all know what is currently being said about Ariana Grande. Everything online since Wicked has been talks about her body and the way that she looks, and it's only escalated when she started her tour. And now that she's released her album Petal and the music video, people are talking about her even more. I've said it in a previous video that a couple months ago when I used one of her Instagram photos in a previous video, YouTube flagged it for promoting an ED, and even though that wasn't the topic at hand, just the photo had triggered YouTube to put this 18+ restriction on the video, saying...
Now, what they're talking about right here is the image that was within that video was just an image of Ariana's back, and it was flagged by the AI systems on YouTube as being an ED. That's what we're going to be able to speak about this as here today. So it's not only people that are looking at her, seeing how thin she is and being concerned, it's actually the AI of different platforms as well.
That it was self-harm when this image was shown. So it's not even just people online who are mean saying stuff about Ariana. It's literally platform technology that is also clocking that some of this imagery that is being shown via her Instagram account, music videos, things like that, are not okay for a younger audience. And this week, a community note was even added to one of her posts on Instagram that said, if you or someone you love is struggling with an ED, please reference some free hotlines and seek support. Now, some people did come at Instagram for allowing this community note to be posted. It has since been removed because on this post, I don't see it anymore. But there has just been so much said about Ariana in the last couple of days. And with all the things being said, it ended up being announced that Ariana was going to be taking a step back from the public eye following her current tour, and she would be pulling out of previously planned appearances. They said Ariana will be taking a step back from visibility after she completes the Eternal Sunshine tour. She looks forward to finishing the tour and ending it on a high note, both healthily and happily, and then taking a much-deserved break from public-facing work and appearances.
Now, you'll notice something throughout this video. Her PR team is oftenly saying healthily and happily. They're stressing the healthily part. They're very aware of what the community, what all of us are thinking about Ariana, how she's gone through many different stages, which we'll actually get into that as we get towards the second half of this video, what she has gone through as her stages of development from an early actress to a singer to a movie star and all of that. You'll get to see her transformation, but they're aware of what the community is saying, and they're trying to put it in our brains that she's actually just fine.
Which has led to endless ongoing public scrutiny. This tour has been a beautiful experience for her. She loves her fans and has loved every minute of this tour so much. With this news came Ariana withdrawing from a musical that she was set to be in. She was going to be in Sunday in the Park with George alongside her Wicked co-star Jonathan Bailey. It was a production set to hit the stage in 2027, but she is now taking a step back from public appearances. And it's sad because, you know, at the end of the day, that's the last thing that fans want to see, is for her to go away into hiding, because people keep talking about her and the way she looks. And it's honestly a sad and complicated situation, because on one hand, you want people to know that this shouldn't be encouraged. You don't want young fans to think that this is glamour, this is fame to look like this. But then on the other hand, it's like we shouldn't talk about people's bodies and speculate on what we think is going on when we don't know, or blame family and friends and the team here, because who the heck knows what is really happening behind the scenes. I mean, people have been speculating an ED, and some have spoken out to say her friends and family and team could be just as concerned as the rest of the world and could be actively trying to do something, but it's not easy to just tell another person how to live their life.
Now, I have to state that it's not about what fans want. When we're talking about our health, your health and mine, a superstar's health, a politician's health, if there's someone that needs to take a step away from whatever their daily is because it's negatively impacting their mental health, it's important that they take the time that they need for that self-care. It doesn't matter who they are. Someone could step in and take over their role. Us fans, we could take a break from Ariana Grande and let her have that time to heal. It's important that she does take this time, no matter how it impacts her career. If it's going to be better for her, then that's what she should be doing. But I think we're talking a lot more about a deeper issue with the industry than just the ED that we're talking about. That is potential. It's alleged. There's no full claims of that. But we're going to get into that as we get towards a little bit later in the video.
And those that are talking about ED are also saying that is an addictive cycle. It's hard to break, and it's not easy for people to just step in and tell someone, hey, don't do that. Now, comments on Ariana's post are limited, but those who have shared their thoughts elsewhere have said a lot, especially following the news that she's stepping back due to scrutiny. People wrote, I understand hearing from everyone about how you look would get to her. That would get to anyone. However, it seems a lot is coming from a cause of concern from many of the comments I've read. Can we stop acting like being concerned for someone's health is a bad thing? She looks unwell. It's totally okay for people on the internet where she actively posts herself and releases music videos, carves her image to notice something and express concern.
Now, I do feel that a lot of the discussion is around concern. I like Ariana Grande. I thought she was a cool little actress when she was doing the kids shows back in the day. I liked her music a bit. I wasn't like a super fan or anything, but I thought her music was great. And I actually really liked her in Wicked as well. So when I see this stuff, yes, I have personal concern because she's someone that I enjoyed the work of over time. And I do think that there is the majority of the scrutiny that she's trying to escape is coming from a good place, from people that care about her and are concerned about her versus people that are just trying to criticize her.
Actually a good thing. It breaks my heart seeing so many people constantly analyzing Ariana. At the end of the day, none of us know what someone is going through, and it's not our place to speculate about their health or appearance. I'm sure she knows far more about her own health than any of us ever could. If she's dealing with something privately, she deserves compassion, not public scrutiny. For anyone struggling with an ED or any mental health challenge, the last thing they need is criticizing or dissecting their appearance. What people need is support, understanding, and empathy, not judgment. Let's stop treating people's bodies like they're open for public debate. She's a human being before she's a celebrity.
And I think that we need to really not focus on her look right now. Obviously, there's been changes in how she's looked over the years, but more about her mental health and our concern in that area of this topic.
When your appearance and behaviors drastically change and you are in the public eye, then fans get concerned. We are concerned. I don't give a F. Correction, concern. Don't blame the public. People are legitimately concerned. People really conflating concern with hate, and it's pathetic. Not every comment is a critique. Be so for real. I guess a new word for concern is now scrutiny. Bro, no one is bullying her. People are concerned. Now, there's been several times over the last year, like I said, where people have said things about Ariana. And there's been multiple times over the last couple of years where she's addressed that she sees what people are saying.
There's always been a conversation about my body, my face, my hair, my voice. I've heard every version of it, of what's wrong with me. And then you fix it, and then it's wrong for different reasons. There's a comfortability that people have commenting on that I think is really dangerous. And I think it's dangerous for all parties involved. No one has the right to say
I think we should be gentler and less comfortable commenting on people's bodies, no matter what. If you think you're saying something good or well-intentioned, we should really work towards not doing that as much.
And back in 2023 is when she really sat down and addressed how people speak about her looks specifically.
But I just also wanted to say, one, there are many different kinds of beautiful. There are many different ways to look healthy and beautiful. I know personally for me, the body that you've been comparing my current body to was the unhealthiest version of my body. I was on a lot of antidepressants and drinking on them and eating poorly, and at the lowest point of my life when I looked the way you consider my healthy, but that in fact wasn't my healthy. And I know I shouldn't have to explain that, but I do feel like maybe having an openness and some sort of vulnerability here will be something good might come from it. I don't know.
It's actually sad to see her talking about this. It's clearly been bothering her, the public scrutiny and all of that. And it's interesting for her to share that the version of her that we saw 5-10 years ago was actually her lowest point, and she was doing some substance abuse and she was struggling severely with mental health back then. So she believes, or is leading herself to believe, that her current state of health is actually her real healthy.
I don't know, but that's the first thing. Healthy can look different. The second thing is you never know what someone is going through. So even if you are coming from a loving place and a caring place, that person probably is working on it or has a support system that they are working on it with, and you never know. So be gentle with each other and with yourselves. And thirdly, the third one's unrelated, I guess. I just wanted to extend some love your way and tell you that you're beautiful, no matter what phase you're in. By the way, I'm not wearing eyelashes or eyeliner right now. This is my face, these are my eyes, so don't freak out about that now too, please. Oh my God. But yeah, sending you guys a lot of love, and I think you're beautiful, no matter what you're going through, no matter what weight, no matter what, how you like to do your makeup these days, no matter what cosmetic procedures you've had or not, or anything. Yeah, I just think you're beautiful.
Actress Jamila Jamil received backlash after she commented on a post of Ariana and doubled down on her Instagram story. She wrote, "This poor woman is possibly right in front of us. This outfit is designed to accentuate the thinness for discourse. Her team are thoroughly irresponsible for not guiding her away from this deeply damaging image for her young fans to see, so glamorized." She later posted on her story, "The shrinking pop star situation is something of a trolley problem. If we comment on her body, we could harm her mental health, which would be awful and nobody wants that. If we don't comment on her body, we run the risk of normalizing that image to hundreds of millions of teenage girls, kids, and even impressionable adults consuming her content which is pointedly accentuating her bones and tiny frame with belts and corsets."
Now, as we can see from that post alone, a lot of people that care about Ariana are pulled in two directions. Do we say nothing and believe that her support team is there for her, or do we say something because we care and we want to be a part of that support system? I understand why people are drawn in both ways, but I also understand how that could become extremely overwhelming for anyone that has to see what's being spoken about them. And from those interviews with Ariana Grande, she seems like a really sweet, kind, genuine person. Someone that's dealt with a lot of scrutiny throughout her life and has had to deal with the evil Hollywood system, which is going to bring us into part 2 of this video. Now, my plan was to watch the music video alongside of you and break it down, but I found something even better that's going to give us details and look deeper into what's being said inside of this music video. And once we're done with all of this, go check out the music video in full, because I can't play it in full for you right now. And you're going to see just how strange it is. So let's dive into what the video means and how it's actually exposing certain people in Hollywood.
Ariana Grande just released the darkest music video of the year. Not only does she depict industry executives treating talent like dirt, but they are presented as literal demonic figures. The video ends with her covered in fake blood, with a crowd of people cheering for her. Now, fans want to know what any of this could even mean. Why was Ariana using such dark, twisted imagery? And more importantly, what was she trying to say with it? Well, it seems that this exec is the key to understanding all of this. If you look closely, he seems to directly resemble a legendary music mogul who recently passed.
Do you know who he's talking about? Because we're going to find out in a minute.
Knowing this makes what happens at the end of the video quite interesting, to say the least. Let's take a deeper look at Petal to uncover what Ariana Grande was really telling us. By the end of this video, you will never look at her the same way again.
I agree with that.
Over the last decade, fans have noticed that Ariana was going through a drastic transformation right in front of the world. Not only had her appearance changed completely, but even the way she acted and spoke in interviews wasn't the same. When she was running around with Cynthia Erivo, there was so many weird moments that left everyone confused. It was like she was becoming a whole different person. It got to a point where some people were genuinely concerned about her well-being. They wondered if she was joining the long list of celebrities who eventually break down from the pressures of the business. While Ariana never seemed to address this directly and just brushed it off, It now seems this video could hold the answers to this mystery.
Yeah, and it's also something we need to think of here is people do change. She went from a child actress to now a grown adult, and there's a lot of different phases of development that we all go through as we age, right? Different makeup, different styles, different ways that we act, our personalities can shift and mature. But I think the bigger issue here is what we spoke of in the first part of the video, which was the weight issue, not if she's wearing lashes or how she's doing her makeup. It's more about the health, looks. But let's dive into this music video because there is imagery all around it exposing dirty Hollywood.
The music video for Pedo seems to be one about vengeance. On the surface, it's about an aspiring actress trying to land the role, but the executives keep rejecting her because of her appearance and lack of sex appeal. Every time she is rejected, she tries to change herself to comply with the request, hoping that in the next audition they will cast her. But after they deny her several times, she snaps, grabs a chainsaw, and goes Scarface on the executives.
Yeah.
After she's finished, she casually walks out the audition covered in fake blood into the waiting room, where all the other girls immediately start to cheer. And then she walks off the set, and it turns out it was all a part of a movie role, and she got the part. The surface message of the video was pretty straightforward. The executives in the industry exploit upcoming talent and try to mold them into what they believe sells. So, by Ariana eliminating the executives, she is making the point that she can't be put into a box by the industry. She is going to be who she wants to be, and no one can stop her. This is literally subliminally hinted at with the painting hanging up behind the executives. This painting is called The Herd Quitter by legendary American Western artist Charles Marion. The artwork illustrates a group of cowboys on horseback attempting to rope a stubborn steer that has broken away from the rest of the cattle herd. The inclusion of this specific painting serves as a metaphor within the video storyline. In this case, Ariana is the stubborn actress who isn't willing to be placed in a mold. It was also meant to be a shot at anyone asking for the old Ariana Grande back. She is saying that that person is gone, and this is who she is now. The message seems to be one about not selling out and remaining true to yourself, while also accepting that everyone has to change. But that is only the surface level understanding of this video.
Yeah, that video, that picture in the background definitely was telling. That's something that most of us watching the music video would have never noticed. Most of us wouldn't have known the painting or how it relates to the video. But they're putting into place little bricks and tidbits of information that are letting us believe that this is actually a rebellion video from Ariana.
There are two moments that tell us this video is deeper than what it seems. First, how they depict one of the executives from the audition, and second, how the video ends with her walking off the set. When Ariana is shown in the meeting, the executives are depicted like demons with creepy, exaggerated facial features and sinister looks. They are heard saying the same industry cliches we always hear and are being extremely rude and demeaning to her. It seems this was meant to represent an industry meeting and demonstrates how bad the power dynamics between executives and talent truly is.
We know that if someone is going to be famous, they need to be liked by that group of men. These people right here, these demonic-like people. So if you can't get in their good graces, if they can't look at you and say, this is our next superstar, then you're not going to see success. And a lot of times you have to do some disgusting things to get in those good graces. Let's hope that Ariana never had to do that.
This depicted just how much control they have and how artists are really just a product to them. They have the power to deny her fame because she isn't the product they want to sell. While this is already deep, things only get deeper when you realize who Ariana might be talking about here. When I watched it, the way they depicted this executive stood out to me immediately. I instantly felt that he looked familiar, and that's when it hit me. That man seemed to closely resemble Clive Davis. From what I found, they don't confirm that any of these execs were inspired by real industry figures. They are just supposed to be the generic industry archetypes. Yet, the main guy literally resembles one of the top executives that ever lived. Now that could just simply be a coincidence, right? But what happens next makes this seem like it could have been intentional. After getting rejected, Ariana quite literally takes out the executive, essentially ending his control over the music industry, freeing her and all the others trying to make it. This blew my mind because we all know Clive Davis recently passed away just a few months ago. Many felt he was one of those executives who gave the industry a bad name. The stories about him made him seem as if he acted just like one of those monsters depicted in the video.
Yeah, he was definitely claimed to have done many, let's just say, evil things, accusations, of course, that he had done very bad things to many people to let them see the success that they were looking for.
A greedy executive who treated artists like a product and not a person. So the resemblance could be simply a coincidence, but it could also have been an intentional message about Clive. Maybe Ariana was trying to say that Clive, or people like him, represents the old system that Hollywood operates under. By depicting herself stopping them, she is trying to say that their way of running the industry is aging out. The big executives that operate this way are getting older and passing away. This is what I interpreted this scene as, but what do you think it means? Was this supposed to be a secret nod to Clive Davis and those like him, and how their way of running the industry is coming to an end?
I believe so.
Or was their resemblance just a mere coincidence? If it is, this is crazy because not only does he look like him, but he is acting just like him. Add this to the fact that they purposely put prosthetics on his face to make him look that way, and that by the end of the video he passes away. It feels like all of this was too intentional and not random. Now, while Ariana shows herself destroying the old Hollywood system, at the end, she depicts herself still being a part of that very world. After she deals with the executives, she walks off a movie set, showing it was just a part in a movie and that she was still in the industry all along.
This is what leads me to believe that she was hinting at everything that's going on inside of the industry and not making a hard statement, because as we're going to see at the end of the video, it was an act and she's still captured by the system. It's telling that she's actually not free and released, that she is still part of and stuck within the same system.
This moment was very telling because in the video, she was depicting what it is like for upcoming talent and what has to be done to get the executives' approval. They have to quite literally sell out and become someone they are not for fame. Hollywood doesn't push talent, it pushes a perfect product. The fact that Ariana shows herself as an actress on a set suggests she is one of those who chose to become a product to satisfy the executives. This could explain why it seems she has changed so many times over the years. It might be because she was never truly in control of who she is. She's just a product who becomes whatever the executives tell her to be. When she started acting, she was told to be a stereotypical dumb pretty girl. She was forced into that role if she wanted success. When her music was blowing up in the 2010s, she was told to act more hip-hop because the genre was dominating at the time. Ariana not only made hip-hop inspired tracks, but she started talking and acting like she was a part of the culture. When she was cast in Wicked, we again saw her change herself to fit whatever the industry wanted her to be to sell the movie. Ariana started acting like an innocent childlike person in her interviews and public appearances. Some felt that she was just acting like this because she was embodying the character. Those old moments during her Wicked press run could have been because the executives felt this is what she needed to be. This could explain why she goes through the drastic overnight changes where she becomes a whole new person.
Now, it could be because the industry is telling her who she is, and she's fitting the role of her next product, as he's stating. It also could be her developmental changes and how she wants to be as a person as the last 20-25 years have passed with her in the fame.
It's like she is telling us she changed herself for the industry, and she is the exact opposite of who she portrayed in the video. She isn't one to refuse to sell out. From what she depicts, she always chooses to change herself whenever they tell her to. While she depicted herself taking out the executives, at the end she reveals they still hold the power over her when she walked off their set. This could explain everything that we have seen over the years. It could also explain some of the other strange things she's done. Sometime back, I made a video about Ariana discussing the beliefs she was into.
Is there an in-between anywhere where Raph meets the universe?
Yeah. I'm somewhere in between. I've learned. I don't know. I said somewhere between being a literal witch, I'm not kidding, and being like the most realistic, cut, dry, like, you know?
From
She's
what
not
she
kidding.
said, it seems to imply she is into some form of witchcraft. This interview was done right around the time she was promoting Wicked and also working on her new album. In Wicked, she played a witch, and her album seems to have drawn some inspiration from actual occult beliefs. Mainly, she incorporated the concept of Saturn's return into her project, literally titling a song on the project after it.
In your life has meaning, right?
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, even tarot cards. When I went to the
Yeah,
studio,
yeah.
you gave me a reading. You've been doing readings on set.
Yeah.
What do you look to astrology for? Is it understanding of what you're going through? Is it an understanding of what will be?
Yeah, I think it's kind of a tool to help us hear what we need to hear sometimes and kind of look forward with hope and awareness, and also reads us for filth sometimes. Sometimes we need to hear it, and just looking to something bigger than us to kind of help us make sense of it. Does that make sense?
Totally. By the way, if you don't know what it is when you're born, Saturn's in a position, and it takes 29 and a half years for Saturn to return to that position. And when it returns to that position, you are faced with deep awareness of oneself and a confronting of patterns, correct?
Yes.
And a wake up.
Course correction, one would
Course
say.
correct.
Saturn's return refers to when the planet Saturn moves back to the exact same place it was in the sky when you were born. It happens roughly every 29 years and traces back to Hellenistic astrology, which developed in the 1st or 2nd century BC. Those astrologers formalized the idea that human life is divided into 30-year chapters. The first return is meant to mark the literal astronomical end of youth and the beginning of adulthood. Saturn is also the Roman god of time, and in other esoteric beliefs like the Kabbalah, it is called Binah, the divine cosmic matrix on the tree of life. It seemed like Saturn was the entire concept of her album. Strangely, this is actually quite common in the industry, as other artists like SZA sang about Saturn's return as well. From what is said about the industry, record labels play a big role in the theme and marketing for each album. While there isn't any verifiable proof they were behind this album, I wouldn't be surprised if the executives have artists practice these beliefs and incorporate them in their music and image. Historically, labels have been accused of molding an artist's persona or even fabricating it completely. Considering the fact that this theme seems to appear across several different artists' music, it could be a possibility. Just like Ariana Grande depicted in the video, these artists have to become what they're told if they want to make it in the industry. If you think this is bizarre, wait until you hear how it all ties back to her new album, Petal. This is Ariana's 8th studio album, which she just recently released. She is actually in the middle of her Eternal Sunshine tour that is meant to be a special send-off before she takes an extended break from music to focus entirely on her acting. She even premiered the song Petal at one of her recent stops.
I would argue that she's not focusing on her acting, and that's not why she's ending her tour. I think she's more focusing on herself.
Interestingly, she is once again using Saturn imagery in these performances, just like we saw from her previous album. During her Erasing Era interlude, we see Ariana depicting some very coded imagery. It starts with her looking at her reflection in a mirror. Out of nowhere, the mirror cracks, the bathroom walls split open, and water starts bursting through. Everything begins flooding, and Ariana is seen running out of the bathroom as the whole building becomes submerged. After she escapes, she finds herself in a dark, empty place where she sees another version of herself sitting hooked up to a computer as if she was being programmed. The first thing I noticed was the black and white symbolism on the floor.
Wow.
This scene is very strange and gives off mind control. When Ariana approaches the computer, it begins to glitch, and then she is pulled by multiple hands and falls through a portal on Saturn's rings. This is when she wakes up and finds a little girl version of herself who becomes her guide. She then shows her the different versions of herself, and Ariana attempts to erase them all, but the computer malfunctions, leaving her with no choice but to join the 3 versions of herself on a chair. This interlude seems to depict her going through her Saturn's return moment. In the video, when she showed herself sitting next to her younger and older self, this was a direct nod back to the concept of the 3 phases of life. Like I said, a person's life is separated by 3 distinct phases: the first return, the second return, and the third return. She was depicting herself participating in this practice. Knowing this, it seems that her video wasn't telling a story about an artist bringing down the old structure of the industry. It was about her going through her Saturn's return and once again being what those in the industry want her to be. Seeing just how many artists have been using this imagery in their music tells us this is likely deeply rooted in the industry.
I think that a lot of artists are starting to share with us the strange inner workings of Hollywood. But there's one more thing I need you to see before we end. And that's this image right here. At the end of the video, Pepper was the name, the title of all of this. And as you could see, Pepper's fragmented, it's cracked, and there's a little bit of hope coming out with the death of the other flower. So is this another version of Ariana Grande, the death of her old self and the rebirth of the new Ariana? You guys can let me know your thoughts down below. Thank you for subscribing. Check out this video if you thought this was interesting, and we'll see you in the next one.